Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pit of Valor number 65. My name is Sir Mickey. I'm joined by the, yes, first try, by the lovely as ever, Becky Bear. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mickey? I too rejoice every single time I point in the correct direction because I absolutely never get it right. I'm
Oh, never.
notorious for getting it wrong. I'm looking very not saturated compared to you. You're looking very, very colorful. I'm looking very dark, other than the lip, giving y'all a Taylor Swift moment here. But other than that, you're looking very colorful. You feeling good today? You ready to watch some Valorant?
I'm feeling great. I'm ready. I just got off of a CS:GO tournament actually, so I'm adjusting back into Valorant. So I'm ready. I'm definitely ready for our first game of the night. We don't have a map or anything else yet, but we do have our two teams. It's gonna be Valor's GG versus Overstressed. And personally, I don't think I've ever seen either of these teams. So this is gonna be an interesting one. I gotta say, right off the bat, Overstressed down here, their logo is sick. That thing is dope. That's a cool logo.
Not to mention that their name is extremely relatable. We got told that that's
Yeah.
one of the teams we were featuring, and I was like, that's me, overstressed, over here. But in fact, overstressed is over there, a very cool logo. I'm not gonna put down the really cool like ram that's happening for the side of Valor's
Yeah,
GG though. So
I like
both of
that.
these teams' logos very nicely done. They came prepared. They probably gave our lovely producer Rose some PNGs, which we're always very thankful of, especially when they're actually PNGs with transparent backgrounds, but Rose did just say lies, so I have to
Uh-oh.
give like a little bit of a finger wag there because that's a no-no. You got to make sure that your
No,
PNGs
no.
have transparent backgrounds for our lovely producers. But that being said, stop talking about all of these silly graphics things. Let's go ahead and talk about Ascent, which is the map that we will be watching them on first. Mickey, you also mentioned that you just came off of CS:GO tournament. What are
Yeah.
some big differences, especially like map-wise, between Valorant and CS:GO? I haven't played
Oh
a ton of
man,
CS:GO, so I'm
that's a
not
good
terribly
question.
familiar.
That's a really good question. If we look at the maps in general, there are some similarities. Obviously, they're both tactical shooters, FPS, search and destroy type games. So there are going to be some similarities, but there's definitely differences when it comes to the fact that in Valorant we have abilities, and those abilities
Mhm.
can help us get over obstacles, help us go through obstacles. So in CS we don't really have that. We just have Molly, AK, whatever we need. But it's a whole different gameplay in Valorant because of those abilities, and that really brings out the. Well, if two maps I can immediately think of the comparison. If you look at Counter Strike, we have a map called Cobblestone. If you guys are aware of that, I'm sorry that you ever had to exist in that map. It's awful. I like to compare Cobblestone to Breeze, also an awful map, but those two maps are very similar in the way that there's not a whole lot of cover, and they mainly rely on you just hitting your shots overall. And guys, before we forget, I just real quick want to give a huge shout out to Hyperspace Dark for sponsoring this week's Pit of Valor. We got a $100 prize pool. Next week's, unfortunately, is not sponsored. So if you guys want to get in line and sponsor that or partake in it, or if you want to sponsor it, DM us on Twitter for more information. If you want to partake in it, !GLGCC for the country club. If just $10 a month, you can solidify you and your team's spot in basically every Pit of Valor for a full month. It's free entry or it's free reservation for all of our free entry tournaments within that month. So be sure to check that out! !GLGCC in chat.
Yes, thank you so much. And we are working on getting all of our players into this lobby, working on figuring out these last few little things that we need to figure out. Um, Rose is
Oh
trying to be
man,
very helpful. And
we love you, Rose.
we're kind of, yeah, we do. We really do. This would not be possible without the lovely Vermilion Rose and Fade, who are the people working behind the desk that you don't get to see on camera that are making this all possible and help making this experience great. Which on a map like Ascent, very important. Fade gonna have his work cut out for him.
Oh
This is a
yeah.
map with a decent amount of vertical little changes here, so it'll be really important about how you go around seeing the map. What are some agents that you're interested in picking up with that verticality and that sort of layout of this map in mind?
I mean, y'all know me. You have to have a Sova. You have to have that information gathered. And if you're not going to go Sova, you have to have someone who can make up for that, i.e. Cypher or Sky. Cypher with this camera, great info gatherer. Sky's flashes literally tell you if there's someone around the corner. So you better be using her flashes correctly, please. I see people flashing and just not actually taking the initiative. They get the information, but then they just kind of back off. They're like, it's fine. But you got to use that information. Those three characters are definitely, I feel like we're going to see at least one of them on either side, either Cypher, Sky, or Sova. Those are your information, guys. But when it comes to this map is very mid-oriented. There's a huge area in the middle here with 4 different routes from bottom, mid, and all the way to top cat, tree room, as well as mid link or tiles towards B site. So there's a lot of different angles and not a whole lot of cover through that mid area, but it's so pivotal because of those angles. So you can rotate through mid, or you can rotate around mid, or whatever you need to do, but you need mid control, and someone who's going to help you do that. Astra, Viper, Omen, Brim, your smoking characters, your controllers. You need them to cover those angles. And if as long as these guys pull out either an Astra or a Viper or a Sova, one of those that I just labeled, I think we're going to have a pretty interesting map.
Yeah, I think we're pretty shoo-in to see Astra and as well as Sova. I think Sova is just has this little heart for Ascent, just like wants to be played on this map no matter what. And then, of course, we were talking before coming into here how ridiculous the Odin can be and how it makes some people want to split their keyboards over their knee, but that's going to probably be what every single Sova wants to be having on a map like this. Just that extra pressure that you can create along with that gun is going to be extremely pivotal on helping keep people off of your sights, as well as maybe we'll see a little bit of Odin action back the way of the attackers onto defense. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it kind of depends on the playstyle of both of these teams. Thank you all for sticking with us as we continue to wait for our players here. We're just taking a little bit longer, waiting on one more player, and then we will be getting right down into it.
Yeah, but all in all, I mean, these two teams, Valor's GG and Overstress, again, we haven't seen these guys before. So these are total wild cards coming in here tonight. At least for me, I haven't seen these guys. Total wild cards, big question marks on our faces now as we're going to be heading into Agent Select here. We have no idea what to expect. We could get a mirror match, which I know, Becky, you love your mirror matches. Me personally, I could definitely do without them. But okay. So we get
so many agents until we get into the point where there's so many agents where you can have like counter picks. Then I'll be about not having mirror matches. But go ahead.
We have 2 initiators. We have 2 initiators for Valor.
So.
Oh, that's
Sky
man.
Is really an initiator.
I mean,
she's a baby duelist.
Yeah, that's how I use her. That's how I play her.
I think that's how most people, especially people at higher elos, tend to play Sky. Sky is just filling this role in a lot of team compositions as the baby second duelist. You just like have more info gathering abilities with your Tasmanian Tiger, and then you have the blinds that are kind of a more duelist function. So I find a lot of people end up just playing Sky kind of like a duelist.
Yeah, that's I'm inclined to agree with you. But unfortunately for me, we are going to have a mirror matchup here. Double Sova, double Astra, double all across the board. What I'm interested in here is the fact that not only initially it was just Valor's that had the double initiators, but now both teams are rocking Sova and Sky. So that gives them information, it gives them flashes, it gives them heals. I mean, this is definitely going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that like it's 2 initiators, but other than the ability to gather information, Sova and Sky are very different characters. Their abilities all do such vastly different things that even though they share the same trait in being an initiator, I like this double initiator pick because they are such versatile characters that can do so many things and fill so many holes in a team composition.
Oh, you're totally right. Sovas can lurk, they can push in, they can do whatever you need them to do. Skies are kind of the same. They're built for support, or built for, going into site and getting killed, but you can also get some solid support. But support is not what Valor's is going to get off the start here, immediately dropping 2 bodies on their team, 1:20 on the clock. as Bomb looks to be headed towards B site here, still on the back of Overstressed. All 5 still up and ready. The heals have come out. Very risky pick to buy heals first round, but as long as they, as long as they pay off, we're all good. But Recurs with that beautiful Arcane Sheriff gonna go down, taken out by Cabates. Can someone check on that, please?
We'll figure it out. Ooh, the nice little shock dart lineups coming in here. Go for default, but aren't able to find anybody as the plant was not actually done default. It would have been a beautiful shock arrow combination had that been where it was actually planted and where people were standing. And I love knowing that that's something that Fonder knows, but ultimately not going to be enough, not able to find those kills, and they get taken out in a 5v3 situation, leaving 4 members of Overstressed alive and giving that first point to the side of Overstressed.
Yeah, those shock darts came through, and I knew there was a slim chance while they're in the air. I knew there was a very slim chance of them actually connecting to somebody, but the fact that I've never seen that. Let me just remind you guys, I used to be a religious Sova main, and I used to look up the craziest pings and shock darts and recon. I've never seen that. That is a very interesting double shock dart, and hopefully we get to see it in actual use before the night is over. But immediately we're going to have Initiator Sky right out the gate. Kabates is there as well, and the Baki, beautiful shot onto Recurs. And Skiboski is there as well. 3 versus 5 now. Bomb looking to be planted here at B site. There we go. It's now down, and now the retake for Overstress.
I'm so glad you said Skiboski before I said it, because I would have said it so wrong, but I believe you're correct.
I think I did.
If we get a correction, at least we'll have both been wrong. But Synergy now trying to decide how to make this push onto this side. Thankfully, most of the members of Overstrike are looking a different direction, so Synergy is able to get that 1-for-1, leaving only Fonder alive to now fight the last 3 remaining members of Overstressed. But Skiboski and the bigger guns for the side of Overstressed, just going to be a little too much for Valor's GG. But that's kind of how it goes in those first 2 rounds. Those first 2 pistol rounds, whatever team gets ahead gets to buy the bigger guns and then just kind of run you over for a round. But now we're going to be able to see some real show making from the side of Valor's GG. Hopefully we're seeing Fonder did pick up an Odin for a moment, but decides to trade it out for this Phantom. Maybe just going for a little more reliable gunplay at the start of this game here.
This is definitely an interesting start to the game. We have the first 2 going to the favor of OVR here, and all in all, neither of these teams are looking particularly weak. It's just, I just punched the crap out of my mic. I apologize. But we haven't seen either of these teams really take control or really drop the ball here. It's been mostly OVR just having the better hand dealt to them, and we're going to see rifles from Synergy. Okay, so Skiboski going to go ahead and take out Recur's Bomb, down 10 HP in a Dream. They do have a Sky, so hopefully the heals will come in here, but nonetheless, Bomb going to get planted as both teams now, both now losing their Jet. And this is no bueno situation.
Doing a really good job of just taking people down. Hendog with some nice shots through the floor there from Hell is going to get that peek onto Fonder, and that will be another loss for Valor's GG. And now this is the point where I would potentially start stressing. Maybe not this round. This round's going to be a save round and then hopefully be able to buy the next round. But if they don't win that 5th round, then I think you're starting to really bite your nails if you're Valor's GG.
Yeah, this is within the next couple rounds here, they're going to have to lay some kind of dominance down, or at least get their foot in the door. They need to get at least 1 round within the next 3 in order to have even a window of opportunity here. And the eco is not looking too hot for Valor's, unfortunately, but Overstressed is looking real good with those. Okay, Hendog right out of the gate. Beautiful wallbang headshot. Combover gonna go ahead, or Comover gonna go ahead and do the same. Hendog again with the 2-piece, and now it suddenly recurs with a Sheriff and a Dream in a 1 versus 5 situation. Takes that bird straight to the face. He's got 0 information to work with. Beautiful headshot onto Gabates. Hendog's there, but the 3-piece is his. There we go. 4 in a row now for Overstressed.
Wow, Hen Dog's doing a nice job, not hesitating to make those wallbang shots the moment members of Valor's GG were spotted out with that recon dart and really getting paid off for it. 6-1, top of the board for the side of Overstressed and holding strong with these guns. We're going to see some buys for the side of Valor's GG, and I think this is going to be the first round where we're completely even across the board as far as guns go. If not, a little ahead if we're Kyo on the side of Valor's GG rocking this operator.
That's making me nervous. Very, very nervous. Also nervous is that Jet's name. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Kiwi?
I'm just gonna say Kyo until somebody corrects us.
I'll just say Valor's Jet. How about that?
There you go. We can go ahead with that.
It's very,
I'm gonna keep watching this little
Caillou. I'm Caillou. Thank you, production. We appreciate that.
Owl Drone gonna try and find someone, maybe. Empty is the mid side of the map, and Fonder and Caillou are gonna make that push towards this A site, but Overstressed is starting to play this round really slow, which is something very different from what we've seen them do in previous rounds. Only got 1 kill at the start of the game and then didn't make that committal onto this A side, potentially because of this killjoy, and now just gonna use a bunch of these ultimates, the recon dart, the astral divide, the seekers, and try and get this dominant push onto B.
30 seconds left.
It was a valiant effort from Vons, but Hen Dog gonna shut him down. Now 2-man disadvantage for Valors as they're on the retake, and this is gonna be a tough one. The double shock darts coming in, not able to find anybody though. Overstressed did a phenomenal job of just swallowing B site and not letting go. A lot of attention was focused towards mid, so that called a lot of Valors towards that area. Now all of a sudden, it's all 5 of OVR on one site, and they're thirsty. Look at them, they're hunting. They're hunting.
Yeah, this is going to be a really unfortunate situation if you're Valor's GG, because it seems like since we haven't seen any of them move, they're deciding to just give this round. That 5-person push is too much, and we're just going to hang back and try to get kills where we can and save our guns. And so far, it's going so good as Overstressed is being really thirsty for these kills.
So thirsty. Recurs had the right idea. He just went and hid. Unfortunately, the op goes down and right into the hands of OVR. No, they didn't pick it up. Huh.
Don't need it. On the attacking side, don't need the operator. Gonna go ahead and stick with these phantoms and 1 vandal for the side of Hen Dog.
That's my Sova. Vandal gang. Let me just be clear. I do use the Phantom, but 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna go Vandal because it's stronger and it gives you a little bit of an advantage on the spray control side, whereas the Phantom does have more bullets, but it's a little bit weaker. It's a good trade-off, but Kabate's starting things off by taking out that Valor's GG Jet player. Now, 5 rounds in a row, Overstress is doing a pretty phenomenal job of just being dominant and controlling this game so far, but Valor's gonna need to step it up here in a moment.
Yeah, Overstress is doing a fantastic job of playing every single one of these rounds as 5, using the utility of their agents and making these strong pushes in groups. And it's really pulling apart all of the members of Valor's GG as they're able to just make these nice little catches and then continue to use all of their agents to just push in unison. And that's why they're commanding these sites so well every single time. Just on the hunt for Recurs again. It's always just left to Recurs, a Riot Gun Buddy, and Oni Phantom in hand. Finally gonna decide to put this bomb down and start this defense 1v4, and I don't think we're gonna see Recurs do much about it.
Oh, the double peek, the coordination from OVR there, that was beautiful. They executed that perfectly, and that's gonna be 6 in a row now for Overstressed. Valor's starting to feel the pressure. Definitely starting to feel the pressure. 6 rounds lost in a row. That can't feel good. Mentally, this just, it's no thanks. No thank you.
Yeah, the mental part of it has to be so huge, especially you barely have any kills for this side of your team. None of these rounds have been particularly close, so you just have to find something to claw at. You have to be deciding, okay, what utility are we using to try and bring this round back? You see, all of Valor's GG has ultimates ready to go aside from this Jet, but Jet is only one off. I would love to see if they just commit to using their utility and these ultimates really smart and try to take a round down while they have the guns that they have.
Unfortunately, we are going to head into a tech pause momentarily. Yui, or however you say his name. Caillou, yes, that's how you said it. I forgot. My bad. I apologize. But Caillou going to have some connection issues. Hopefully, we're able to resolve those relatively quickly. But 6 in a row for Overstressed. That is not a light way to start off the game. That is dominant right out of the gate. And it's just so far been such... This map is not, Ascent as a whole is not attacking sided. It's not defensive sided. I think it's one of the most even maps in the game, and Overstress is starting to tweak my opinion just a little bit. They're doing a phenomenal job of pressuring sites, and then their post plants are also flawless. So at that point, it's not really. You kind of have to just wait for Overstress to make a mistake if you're Valor here. Oh, thank you, Rose. Our producer says at the start of the summer, Pit of Valor 46, Overstressed actually took a crown. So I was unaware of that, but GG's to them. But so far they're doing a pretty good job of they're doing a pretty good job of showing why they won that crown. So.
Yeah, it's certainly becoming more and more apparent the more that we watch why Overstressed has been able to take down a Pit of Valor in the past, showing that they are a solid team altogether and doing a great job of taking control of the sites and this map in general. Just absolutely a insane performance. And if you're interested in watching more insane Valorant later through this week, Community Gaming is putting on the Valorant Elite Showdown Invitational. GLG will be producing the first 2 days here on this, and then later it will be hosted by Community Gaming. And this whole tournament is a partnership with Riot. It is $25,000 in the prize pool. It is a big pants tournament. Importante, big pants, lots of money on the line, lots of important things, and some great teams competing for a lot of money. So if you're interested in seeing some really great Valorant happen, the next, I believe, 3 to 4 days will be that Valorant Elite Showdown, the first 2 here, and then later ones on Community Gaming. You can check out our Twitter or Community Gaming's Twitter to find out more information on that.
Yeah, I mean, those community gaming is just, GLG as a whole, we've been working with community gaming for a very long time, and we love them. We love working with them. So their events are always the best. So chef's kiss type deal. But all in all, Pit of Valor 65 currently underway. We are on Tech Pause. If you are just joining us, I am Sir Mickey. Says right there, joined by the lovely Becky Bear. Currently, Valor's GG is trailing 6-0 to Overstressed here on Ascent. We're not having the most impressive start for Valor's, but what is impressive is 22 whole floors straight up in the sky at Innovation Square. Guys, Great Lakes Gaming we got our own lounge underway. We're currently under construction at Innovation Square in Rochester, New York, and we are doing the absolute most. We're literally going to create an office space where we can have actual LAN events. We can have actual teams come and play, and it's going to be phenomenal. If you want more information, GLG LAN in chat. We'll get you all the information there. And unfortunately, we are still on a little bit of a tech pause while Caillou figures out that disconnect issue. But again, I always like to say this, whenever we have an issue like this early on in the night, I always prefer to have it on early on in the night. First game is where we want all of our mistakes out of the way. Get them out of the way. Get them out of the way. We got a bunch of more hours of this to do. So get all the mistakes out of the way now. But yeah, I mean, Ascent's been a pretty one-sided map so far. Becky, do you think Valor has a chance of coming back this half, or do you think they're going to have to wait till next half?
I think they're just going to have to hope that they're really good and have a plan for the attacking side. Maybe they have as good.
Oh,
sorry, we're getting an update. Just a moment. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so one of our players had a complete disconnect from the game, and their game was running bad. got a little bit disconnected there. And so we are in a 4v5 situation right now. And I think we're going to be they're completely unable to get back into the game. So we will be throwing to a little bit of an intermission and potentially try to find another match of Valorant for you to watch. But we'll be just a little bit, try to get this figured out. Try to get all of our kinks figured out at the beginning of the night and come back to bringing you all some great Valorant matches to watch.
And we are back. Welcome on back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Sarah Mickey, joined by Becky Bear. Welcome on back from that short little, well, it wasn't that short, but thank you for bearing with us through that technical pause. It seems Caillou has got everything in order, and we're back underway. 6-0 is your score, with Overstressed absolutely terrorizing Valor's GG at the moment.
certainly true. Had to play a little bit of match medic here, but we have brought this game back after a DC, and now we'll see if a better state of computer bodes well for Caillou or not. Kabate's making some aggressive hops with this Blade Storm out. Not able to find anybody here. As usual, Overstressed continuing to be absolutely threatening and dangerous on this site. Ooh.
I was just about to question how nobody's died yet, and Kabates rips the head off. There we go. 3 under the belt, looking for a fourth. No, Fonder's gonna put him down with that Odin. Again, that Odin we were talking about it. It's gonna be a 2 versus 3. Beautiful from Como, but picks up a 2-piece, and it's gonna be it. 7-0. The pause didn't do anything to stop Overstressed.
I don't know if I would call that a pause. I don't know if there was a ton of talk about the game from the side of Valor GG so much as just getting that missing member back into the game, though we are at the point where potentially we should be seeing a pause. We should be seeing Valor's GG be like, how do we get these last few rounds back in our favor? How do we start bringing this back into our favor? Because right now, and nothing is going their way. It's Groundhog Day going poorly over and over again.
To be 100% honest, I'm assuming that they use some of that time to figure out what's going on, to see if they can adjust their, their tactics here. Because if they didn't, that'd be kind of a waste of that whole, I get you got to get your guy back in, but you should also be, multitasking to see what we are doing wrong and what we can do to fix it. My goodness, that was a very close call. Caillou was just, there we go, picks up 2 from mid. Beautiful little slice and dice with the dagger, with the, what are those called? The dagger, the Blade Storm, dagger storm with the Blade Storm. There we go. Still learning how to speak. Caillou now left in a 1-on-3 situation on the retake, as actually not a retake. Bomb is yet to be planted.
Yeah, we're gonna hope that this a little bit of a computer restart has done Caillou some wonders. 2 kills already picked up, so not the worst situation for them to be in, but now in a 1v3 with this bomb going down, the pressure is gonna be on, and this alarm bot means the jig is up.
Oh man. Caillou, for a second, I don't think he knew where he was. That was a unfortunate positioning from him. Now 8 rounds in a row, but look at this beautiful little 2-piece. Caillou was able to pick up 1 from attack spawn and then 1 straight through mid. It was just gorgeous blade work. It's unfortunate though, because I wasn't able to give Valor's their first point on the board. And if you look at the KDs, Valor's all in all, the kills aren't there either. They just can't seem to stop Overstressed. They're on a rampage right now. They just can't seem to slow them down.
Yep, and there will be no slowing if you are the unhinged train of Overstressed to trying to continue to just keep this aggressive caboose and all going in hard. 4v2 now. Kabates aggressively postured on top of heaven here, trying to just find these gunfights and win them, trying to take on Fonder, but Fonder has a Odin and is gonna do his best to stay in and stay kicking. Now getting this Phantom to do a little bit more of a duel here. Nice.
There we go.
Broski, and now in a 1v1 against Hendog, but Hendog has proven to be a strong force, and ultimately, yep, it gets a Fonder with that recon dart out, and it's going to continue to go the way of Overstressed.
Unfortunate there for Fonder. He was able to pick up, was it 3 there? 2 with the Odin and 1 with the Phantom, but unfortunately Hendog just decided to have a Silva diff in the middle of that for no reason. 9-0 is your score. Overstressed absolutely decimated Valor's GG. 3 rounds left. I mean, at this point, it's man.
Are you ever heard of the 9-3 curse? Valor's GG is going to go ahead and try to pick up themselves a curse at the 9-3 mark for Overstressed, and we're not really seeing anything super duper change up. Caillou's continuing to play this extremely aggressively, even though it's not really been going in their favor, and Overstressed continuing to do what their agents do best: play around the map, get as much information as possible, and then finally commit to something, and when they commit to it, they commit to it hard.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder. You say that's what their agents do best, and you're absolutely right. Those are, this attacking setup might not be the most orthodox in terms of an attacking squad, but all in all, those are very self-sufficient agents on that side over all of them over on Overstressed. So you got to think if it just comes to the point where is Overstressed just better with these agents than Valor's is when Valor's are, I guess. Valor's GG is, words are hard, but bomb now planted on a site. Not a body has been dropped yet here in round 10, and this is fixed up to be a very interesting one.
Yeah, thankfully nobody has died, and if there's a time where Valor's GG could try and pull through it, it would be this, but Comeover doing a great job on this defense along with Hendog and just taking down members of Valor's GG left and right and reaching double digits for the side of Overstressed, and this is turning out to be a landslide.
Oh yeah, Hendog once again going big there. Comeover's doing phenomenal as well. Comeover's 14-2 with 5 assists. Hendog's 12-1 with 8 assists. And then Kabate's right there, 11-6 alongside with them. And all of Overstressed is positive. And if you look at Valor's, they're all double negative. It's very unfortunate. But if we're looking at the eco, Overstressed has definitely got an advantage as we're heading into the last 2 rounds of this half. Valor's has got to stop the match point from happening. This could be a 12-0 first half.
Yeah, but Caillou taking out Comeover is got to be huge for the side of Valor's GG, getting that nice aggressive pick early in the round and taking down Comeover, who has some of the highest kill death assist ratio for the side of Overstressed. Has got to make Valor's GG start to feel a little bit of a weight off their shoulders, breathe a little nicer, and hopefully now making some aggressive plays themselves. Synergy and Vons finding some kills, and we're left with just Hendog. This is now where Valor's GG, they had that moment, they took that breath. Hendog able to get Vons, but Synergy is going to be able to find that final kill. Beautifully done, that aggressive push finally when some util came back up for the side of Valor's GG. Able to get their first win of this game, but it's still an uphill climb.
Oh, very, very uphill. We're talking Everest. Maybe Rushmore. It's a little shorter, but it's still a difficult climb. Across Jefferson's nose. Is Jefferson on the Mount Rushmore? I don't know. School didn't teach me that, but I do know the powerhouse of the cell. 10-1 is your score. We are on the last round of the half, and again, finally Valor's was able to get that first point on the board, and that's got to be huge. And look how aggressive they're getting off the bat. The Astro Gravity Wells are coming through. The flashes are coming through. The health is no bueno for Overstressed, but the outcome, the heals. And now no man advantage. 4 versus 4 now. Hendog getting aggressive. Nabaki's there, takes out Fonder. Vons is there, immediately picks up 3. Looking for a 4th, perhaps. I think he might get it. I don't know. Comeover's rushing nice and quick. He is able to pick him up 1-on-2 now. Comeover uses the secrets to his advantage, but there we go. Synergy gonna outplay him. Wallbang headshot comes through. And ladies and gentlemen, Valor's GG finally gonna get their second point on the board, 10-2.
Yeah, that's got to be so unfortunate if you're Comeover. Finding that 1 kill to short up to a 1v2. A 1v2 isn't so bad. Using those Seekers has got to make you feel really good about going into a 1v2 as well. But just making that push a little too quickly along with the Seekers and running right into Synergies. And now we have a swap. So now we're going to see if Valor's GG has a strong attacking side plan and if they're as beautifully a well-oiled machine as Overstressed was on attack.
Yeah, that's always the question, right? Overstressed absolutely dominating on attack, but is that going to be the same story? Are we gonna see the same? Will this be a nice and quick 13-2, or is this where Valor's is meant to shine? You gotta wonder. You have to wonder, but immediately we're gonna see a very nice Killjoy setup here on B from Overstressed, and that's gonna very slow push here from Valor's, but they're gonna get caught in it nonetheless. Caillou not in a good situation, 10 HP in a dream. There we go. The heals from Vons coming in clutch as the Sky main. 5 versus 5, still all 10 up, 1:10 on the clock, and now Valor's gonna make a beeline for sight.
Yeah, and they're checking all of the corners, making sure that no members of Overstressed are hiding out anywhere, but all 5 members of Overstressed still alive and well to try for this retake. Oh, Reeker is getting a little bit caught out. Bot destroyed, trying to find their way around the map, figure out where exactly they want to end up, come over, trying to find them, but it eventually decides to pull back and join the team, which I think is the correct play. But Caillou going to be able to find Bates as they try to make this push onto the site, going down left and right.
Oh, man. Oh, Nabaki able to pick up a two-piece. Fonder's going to be left on site all by himself, but he is able to pick up that third and final kill, as Valor is going to make it 10-3, slowly working their way to closing that gap.
Oh, yeah. And now they've got these Spectres, potentially going to be buying a Phantom here for Caillou. Looks like that will be the decision made for Valor's GG. So this round should go the way of Valor's GG as well. Give themselves a little bit of breathing room and also a little bit of a morale boost. Winning those last 2 rounds into these 2 pistol rounds has got to make you feel pretty good. But if you're overstressed, you've got a lot of room to breathe. You got a lot of rounds that you won in this first half, and you've got some room to maybe stumble a little bit and pick yourself back up and still be in an okay spot.
Yeah, ideally they don't stumble, but that's already out the window. They lost that first round. That was no bueno, but again, this is still anyone. I mean, I wouldn't say anyone's game, but you're right. Overstress has plenty of room here to fumble around with, but Nabaki is definitely not going to let that one slide. Headshot wallbang with the Sheriff, and now 3 versus 10, a minute 10 on the clock, and Bomb looks like it's going to be headed towards A site. I mean, Fonder just got his head ripped off from Broski down mid, and now Bomb, there we go, gonna get planted here at A site. Got a lot of action in tree room. The abilities are gonna come out. Kabates gets taken out. Vons is there with the Spectre. Caillou watching mid. Beautiful angle. Is he gonna be able to get one? Yes, he picks off one. Navaki's there for the backup, and Vons gonna finish him off. 10-4 now.
And that 4 has got to be just chef's kiss. So sweet for the side of Valor's GG. We're looking really rough. It was 10-0, double digits for the side of Overstressed, and looking very overstressed for Valor's GG, being like, okay, what are we doing wrong? Where can we pick it back up? Now with 4 points, we're starting to feel a little bit like there's a back and forth now. We're starting to see the real Valor's GG come out, see where these players really lie. Synergy's doing a great job of kind of pushing in for the team, doing a great job with these smokes, but Overstressed now with real guns. We'll see if it continues to go the side of Valor's GG.
And these slow pushes is what kills me. I have ADHD, so I don't know where to focus. Everything's so slow right now. There's nothing for me to focus on. But now we're going to get a little bit of the util coming out here from Synergy with the Astra Stars. Going to place that final one. Caillou was able to sneak onto site, but is he going to be able to make a difference sitting in that nano swarm? There we go. The heals are coming out. Another one. Oh, man. This is no bueno. This is not a good spot for Caillou to be in. He just keeps getting caught in those nano swarms, but they are able, out of all the confusion and shots, they're able to get Bomb down on site now. Again, 10-4 is your score. Beautiful dink from Caillou coming out. Not able to lay out that kill, though. 4 versus 5 on the retake. Kabates takes out Fonder. Come over, and now 1-on-5. It's Caillou all alone, but there we go. He's going to get taken out no matter what, and 10-4 turns into 11-4 as Overstressed finally going to take it back.
Yeah, now that we're seeing Overstressed have the matching gun power, or even in this case, a little bit better the gun power, with mostly Phantoms and Vandals for the side of Overstressed to the Spectres for the side of Valor's GG. We really saw how that was going to shake up. But now this is the real round. It looks like Caillou might be a little bit strapped for cash, but the rest of the team's doing pretty okay. We're only 1 point off of Bladestorm, so potentially we'll see the team of Valor's GG try to get Caillou an ult orb and then pull that Bladestorm out, and it's you know, a little bit of an econ princess, as Jet usually is.
Oh, I'm gonna use that econ princess. I love that. Ooh, the scan, early scan gets denied by Reekers, but the person who scanned that hen dog, ready and waiting with an Odin, not able to pick up any damage though. Very little information given off of that. They know at least one's there because the dart was broken, but other than that, he's got nothing to work with, so that might trigger a bit of a rotate. But for now, Overstressed is gonna stay relatively put as Valor's looking to head towards A, but they don't really have Bomb with them. I think now they're going to go ahead and transition to pick up Bomb, try to make their way to A side here.
Yeah, we did see Vons and Caillou go for that ult orb. Bladestorm now out. Did a little bit of a healing off of a poor peek to get Caillou that ult orb, but back up at full HP is going to be no big deal for the side of Valor's GG with this very slow push and a respectable patience coming from the side of Overstressed.
Yeah, you got to give it to Overstressed. They are playing this so patiently. My dumb self would have just yeeted down long and got my whole team killed by now. I wouldn't be able to play like this. 25 on the clock, and Valor's finally going to make their move. Vaughn's able to pick up one, but quick trades coming out all across the board. Synergy left standing, 3 versus 3 now. Bomb is going to get planted on a site. Red and blue all through the kill feed now. 3 versus 3 come over, makes it 3 versus 2. But Fonder's there looking for a refrag, able to catch him, come over. Now makes it a 1 versus 3, and I believe that's going to be Caillou all alone on site.
All alone, and a giant jellyfish lettuce wrap coming at you. Gonna be able to find. Hendog does go down, but the 2 remaining members of Overstressed, with the help of that Seeker, will be able to find Caillou and take that down, going into match point for Overstressed.
And he got caught by the Squid Game Seekers, and then I'm pretty sure he got flashed in the middle of that too, all while he's getting gravity welled. I mean, there was just very little chance. Ooh, Fade over here with the nice little, I don't know what you call that, insertion through the little, I don't know how to say that, but then it sounded weird. But 12-4 is your score on match point here. Overstressed doing a phenomenal job of bringing the game back into their favor. Not that it ever left their favor. I mean, they literally had 10 rounds in a row. But, you know, those first couple rounds of the second half didn't go the way they needed to, and now they're able to pull it back. 12-4 again is your score. Valor's has got to pick it up. They have
got to pick it up. We're really hoping to be lucky with this Hunter's Fury right here, but not able to tag anybody. Hoping with these worst guns on match point of all times to have the worst gun power. Just trying to get the most out of that utility and hoping for the best for the side of Valor's GG.
That's Tiger runs right past. Caillou is going to be able to snap back in time. No, Caillou picks up 2. He's taking shots though, and K-Bates is there as the shock darts are going to come in as well. K-Bates looking for control of tree room. They are going to be able to open up site more with that door, but bomb is planted. 3 versus 4, 3-man retake. We've seen Overstressed do more ridiculous things than this tonight. I believe this is possible. This is entirely possible to be 13-4 right here. K-Bates is definitely making sure that's the case. 2 versus 2. All of a sudden, Hendog on site with that Odin and a Dream. Mows down Vaughn's 1-on-1 now. Nanoswarms are being triggered and thrown once more. Recurs sitting in line, but Hendog's got to push him. No time for the defuse. Recurs, it goes down, and there we go. 12-5. But fortunately, Valor's played their time correctly, and we're still in this thing.
Oh, that looks really nice from far away.
It looks beautiful.
I mean, when you're in a game, you don't ever get to see that finisher from that far away. I had no idea we'd do that. That was very cool. Thank you, Fade.
Fade's great, man. We love Will.
All right, Overstressed still on their match point, still sitting pretty here. The cash for the side of Valor's GG was rough last round, but still pretty rough this round. If your name is oh no, sorry, Valor's GG doing much better on guns, light armor, but that's not the worst. Overstressed was looking a little bit rough with some poor gun power for the side of their Astra, as well as Killjoy, I believe. But hopefully that won't be too much. And if we get those more aggressive guns out there.
The positioning from Caillou, the early dash straight into Boathouse gets them the ground they need. He picks up a 2P, or he picks up 1, and then the Sova goes down as well. Now suddenly a 2-man disadvantage for Overstressed, as Valor's has done everything in their power to take site. Now they just need to do everything in their power to hold it, but K-Bates and Caillou both had the same thoughts, but K-Bates spotted it before he could. 3 versus 4 now. Man advantage still for Valor's, but again, Overstressed, this is their bread and butter. These retakes are disgusting, so let's see if they can do it.
Yeah, 4v3, not the worst situation. You know that most of the members of Valor's GG have to be on that site already, so it's just figuring out exactly where they are. But luckily, Synergy is coming in with a nasty flank from Market there, able to finish off the last few members that didn't make that push with K-Bates.
I don't know how Valor's is still in this.
They have half the points of overstressed. I think by a lot of people's metrics, people would not call Valor's GG still in this. I've seen some crazy games, though. I would not be... I mean, I would be surprised, but I've also seen crazier things here on Pit of Valor, and it would not be the craziest thing that I've seen to see Valor GG win the next 7 rounds and bring us into some overtime.
It's more so, I'm more so confused as how overstressed, not really confused, but kind of just overwhelmed and saddened that Overstressed just hasn't been able to put a lid on this match yet. It's taken them a lot of rounds to shut this down. I'm so overstressed. There's just so much going on.
So is Comeover as Comeover goes down there to the Guardian. And nice 1-for-1 trade, though, is able to keep this game pretty even. And Valor GG looking like they're going to make this commit to A site, but will they get caught here by Imski Broski?
Oh man.
Completely blinded is just a rough place to be, but Nabaki with a nice 2-piece there to shore it up a little bit. The knives coming out for Caillou, stuck behind this cloud burst if you're Kabates and Hendog.
Now your mirror match coming into play here. 2v2, Jet Sova versus Jet Sova. Kabate's already on site, not able to find one. Fauna puts him down, and now it's a 1-on-2 situation here for Hendog, and not too stressed out about it, able to pick up the first, but Caillou is there with the Blade Storm from afar, and that's going to be 12-7. Valor's GG not giving up.
This has got to be the really difficult part if you're Valor's GG, though. If you're overstressed, you have so many rounds that you've won that you're just like, okay, maybe we'll just sit here. We're going to wait for our economy to good, wait until we all have full shields and full guns, wait until we have most of our ultimates, and then we're just going to use all of our ultimates and our superior gun power in one round and just try to finish this game up. And they are in a pretty good spot to be trying to do that now with the utility ultimates of Sova, Killjoy, and Astra.
Ooh, the early gravity wells. Kabate's able to just barely get out of that. They've been getting kind of aggressive down A long here. I've noticed Overstressed likes to push down there a little too far. It might cost them a couple players, but so far they've been okay with it. But as I say, that synergy able to pick up Kabates, but Comeover is there with the trade. 4 versus 4 now. Bomb has been dropped all the way back in the attack spawn. So is that going to come into play as Caillou doing some work? Comeover as well, looking for a trade. No, Caillou puts down a second. Now it's suddenly 2 versus 4 situation here.
Oh, and this is going to be a little bit stressful. Both ultimates are available for Hendog and Nabaki. Ooh, taking some shots as we run out there. Ooh, multiple shots on both of those members, but Nabaki's still pretty healthy. Hendog deciding if we want to try and peek that bum. Maybe it's best for us to split up.
I'm thinking Overstressed should just give them this one more round, save their weaponry, because they're going to be broke if they lose this. And Hendog just went down, so that's already not a good start to this retake. I think, yeah. I think Nabaki's going to go ahead and make the right choice here and just save that weaponry, save the util. Well, not really util anymore, but you know, save the Phantom. Just keep a gun. Just keep a gun. They won this round. Good job, Valors. But just save your stuff, and we'll pick them up next time.
Valor's GG. Honestly, the round that really started to turn it around for them was they had a save round that they managed to win when Overstressed first got to match point. And from then on have just kind of like, I mean, obviously they've held it on because Overstressed was at match point. But that one round where they just had rough money and somehow managed to pull it off, and they've just kept winning since then, that's got to be that little bit of morale boost that they've been needing. And watching Caillou go from being 0-6, bottom of the board, to now 16-16, kind of a 1-1 KDA, but that's still okay. And that quick ascent to the top of the board and the amount of pressure that Caillou is creating is really showing exactly where this has started to turn around for Valor's GG.
Yeah, and if you're overstressed, I feel like you've just been overstressed. You've been nervous these past couple rounds. It's honestly hard to get that last point when Valor's, I mean, they're holding their angle. Valor's just doing such an incredible job of just annoying Overstress to the point where they can't think. And I think that's really what's going on here is Overstress is panicking. Okay, Caillou just did a thing. Beautiful headshot. That's a beautiful spot. It's a beautiful positioning from him.
Yeah, that's a very nice spot and being rewarded for it.
Ooh. Comb Over just got a dog to the face. I love that name, Comb Over. Love it.
It's a pretty good name.
Pretty solid. Very creative. Very creative. If you look at the mini map here, Becky, this is getting a little messy. Overstressed looks like they're starting to pressure mid here. Aside from Head Dog, who's now on the ground, as is Nabaki. Recurse picks up a beautiful two-piece, and now they're going to get the information that, oh no, wait. Yeah, no, they got the information that someone was mid, so now they know where Comb Over is either coming from Cat or A Long, and he's making his way definitely down A Long. It looks like he might be challenging this 1 versus 5. Synergy's about to come around that corner. Pull out your knife, Comb Over. Oh, the timing was in his favor. Picks up a Vandal. That's another rifle in the hand of OVR. He might fully go for this thing.
I think you've just got to try and take out the guns where you can. I don't know if you're trying to actually defuse this bomb or if you're just trying to wait and get some kills. But Caillou with a nice little, I know you're there, shoot through that wall, taking out Comb Over. And we're at 8-12. And Valor GG doing their best to kind of bring this game back for their side. But I'm Ski Broski. Gonna say, hold up, where is this starting to go bad for us? We're on match point. We're 1 win away from taking this game. We don't want to go into overtime. How do we make that not happen?
How do you make that not happen? I mean, at this point, both teams have done an incredible job on attack so far, right? Overstress literally went 10-2 in the first half, and now we're seeing Valor's take control of the match, and Overstress hasn't gotten a point since I think the 4th round in this half. So if you're OVR, you're super worried right now. I mean, you haven't been able to get anything down the past couple rounds, and you got to wonder if it's just mental or if Valor's just really diffing you right now. Whatever it is, you have to take your team aside and say, guys, what are we doing wrong? What do we need to position? We need to reposition someone. We need to reuse our abilities. We need to do something here that is going to give us an edge. We just need 1 round. That's all OVR needs is 1 round. And just for some reason, they haven't been able to capture it.
But hopefully with that little bit of a timeout, they were able to collect their thoughts, figure out where they're going wrong, what exactly their game plan is on this defensive side. And we see members of Overstress spread out across the map. Seems like we're seeing pretty much the same setup that we've been seeing from this Astra and this Killjoy at the start of the round, as well as this Odin shots from Hendog through the wall. So most things all the same, but Hendog taking a little bit of a retreat upon noticing that some members of Valor's GG are in... Oh, the nice jump with the Hunter's Fury to try and get that extra air, but Fonder with the Hunter's Fury of their own is going to be able to take out the member of Overstressed, and now Valor's GG find themselves in a 4v3. 3v3, excuse me, Kavates.
Oh, man. Overstressed doing a pretty great job of just keeping Valor's off site during this round, and Valor's doing a pretty good job themselves, at least getting the picks here. So now we're going to have Killjoy and Jet down for Valor. So that's Sentinel, that's post-plant and Duelist, so that's no bueno. But Synergy's not in a good position. Nabaki catches him from behind. Now 3 versus 2. Valor's with bombs still up. This is definitely, this is yikes.
Yeah, this is not where you want to be if you're Valor GG. You worked so hard to get these points back, trying to get back into this game, and now it's all starting to fall apart after Synergy's died on that nice little lurk through that A side. Now we're just left with 2 members on Valor's GG. Not a lot of utility left, and Kabates with this operator is going to bring it home for the side of Overstressed.
Oh, man. One hell of a match here on Ascent. Overstressed taking full control of that first half, and then for a while they were shaky. They were pretty shaky, but despite Valor's beautiful semi comeback there, Overstressed was definitely able to capture on here on Ascent, 13-9, beautiful score line. If you look at Caillou, Maine went 19-17 with 5 assists. And then if you look on the other side, Bates 22-16 and 7 assists. Both Jets doing a phenomenal, both duelists in general doing a phenomenal job of exactly what they're supposed to do. Exactly, you get on site, get those kills, pick them off, and that's going to create some great space, great opportunities for you and your team to take advantage of. And that's exactly what we saw both teams do here tonight.
Yep, exactly. Wonderful kind of to see Caillou have that little bit of a disconnect, some technical difficulties, and then completely turn it around, end up being highest combat score in that game. And that kind of just goes to show that even if you're dying a lot, if you're in there and you're getting information and you're getting some damage, that is still counting to how you're doing in the game. And Caillou ending up at the top of that board, even though kind of having one of the worst KDAs, says a lot about that.
Yeah, that's it's definitely, that was, to say the least, it was a very interesting map.
Mm-hmm. Certainly a very interesting game. Well, don't go anywhere if you're interested in watching more of Valorant. We will be back with round 2 of Pit of Valor after this little break.
Welcome back, everybody, to Pitted Valor number 65. Joining you here today is going to be myself, Mick. Back and better than ever. I know last week I had a little bit of nasal congestion, but we're ready. We're back to 100%. And joining me today is going to be Sir Mickey. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, man. I love it. Like last week, you were quiet and you were dead, and now this week the energy's back, man. We're here. We're ready. Pitted Valor 65, man. I'm hyped. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready for it too. We're only in round 2 and we already got a banger of a matchup coming for you. We got the likes of Sakura White, which I feel like y'all should know them by now. Look at how much they've really brought so far. They've won themselves fairly recently as well. I mean, they got themselves all the way through. They won grand finals. So they're a contender to some extent. We know they're going to make a run. We know they're going to get themselves up the ladder. But we also got to see their competition and consider what they're going to be growing through. And that's going to be all sick esports. So which is a sick place, some sick players, but we got sick as a team as well tonight. And they're already getting into it. I know we've got a little bit behind with that last game, but we're getting right back where we left off. We're already getting these agent selects on the map of Ascent. And we're already seeing a little bit of a locks here. We're looking at the sky, the jet, something you'd expect. You're probably going to be a troll, I guarantee. And yeah, obviously. But everything looking like a mirror matchup so far besides the Cypher and... Oh, the Cypher and KJ differential is all we're really looking at as a differential right now.
Huh. I'm hoping. I don't want another mirror matchup. You know, they're fine and dandy, but honestly, as a caster, it gets confusing having 2 of everything. No, but I want to see some variation tonight, so I'm okay with us having a Cypher on the board and a Killjoy on the other side. It's just barely not a mirror matchup, but I'm still excited because it's Ascent, and Ascent is one of the best maps in the game, one of my personal favorites. So I'm definitely ready for this one, man.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. Ascent, beautiful map, just a very well made map, very balanced in my opinion. Had some great experiences not only on the ladder this week on it, but hopefully tonight as well, because we had a really good start on this map. Looking at that major comeback that just came through with those last 2 teams with Valor's GG and just what was it? It was understressed or overstressed?
Overstressed.
I was just making sure because they weren't all that stressed to begin with, but I think as the course of the game went on, they started the stress started to really kick up. So I was expecting has everything kind of transitioning, but I mean, as we're already getting here into this first game, we see a little bit of a differential in the buy. We see a little bit of diversity, maybe not in the matchups too much when it comes to these agent selects, but we do see a differential when it comes to guns. We see an old Frenzy coming through. We see some ghosts on the side of Sick. I mean, we see a lot of buys coming through for them, not really orienting themselves towards that utility just yet.
I mean, and Doctor and I touch on this all the time. Pistol rounds are a toss-up, right? Unless you want to spend $800 per round on a sheriff, it's just kind of it's a toss-up. There's no true pattern to it. But Katashio, is that an anime name? Katashio gonna start things off with a beautiful Cypher kill right off the bat. Now immediately out of the gate, a man down for Sick Esports. Chef not in a great position here. Gonna have to back off as bomb is now gonna get planted here at B site. The retake is now a 4 versus 4.
Yeah, 4 versus 4 here for this retake, and the sky already being lit. So that's some healing you can't really get off for yourself, but you don't really need it if you could already find yourself a shot from the likes of old Shimu and Minimal trying to get back onto this side. And it's a successful retake so far. When you see the picks coming out, you see the last man standing. It's going to be old Nightmare there, all on his lonesome. Vulnerable as well as 16 health. Almost able to get picked up, but he finds one of his own. This is a lot more doable now as we see a little bit of a ring around the rosy on this side. Shimu trying to go ahead and bait the man out, and he gets the turn on the last second for a three-piece here, or with enough time on the CPUs to get old Sick Esports their first round of the game.
And there we go. It's exactly what you want to see. If you're, if you're a fan of Sick Esports, Shimu coming up big for them there, getting our first point on the board. Again, it's just the first round. It's a strong first round from Sick, but again, round number 1. Plenty of game left. As I always like to say, Mick, this is still anyone's match at this point, and it's, I will say, it's kind of worrying me because we're going to see Chef on the side of Sick whip out an Ares, and we all know where he's going to sit with that thing.
Oh yeah, he's going to be cooking up some wall bangs, and that's all he's really looking for so far. And quite honestly, I feel like as the game goes on a little bit more so, I started to notice that pistol rounds don't feel like as much of a toss-up anymore. When you have that utility, if you have a KJ and a Sova, get some shock darts, get some nano swarms grenades, you can get a lot of damage off with no armor being really bought to go ahead and ping down your opponent. But that doesn't seem to matter at all this time around when you already see Shimu and ISO towards that A site, finding some frags of their own, and with that spike all the way back towards that spawn. I mean, Sakura, they're really just trying to wing whatever they can. They're trying to go ahead and bluff it to some extent on this B site, saying we can make a push, but we just got to know where to push, how to do it, and how to get onto this site, because they don't know who anybody is. They don't know where they're going to be sitting at, and they don't really know how to get themselves onto a site, just kind of lingering out with no spike, really just praying for the most.
Yeah, this is very unorthodox for Sakura here, but Chef is ready and waiting. There we go. Churro rounds the bend, gets his head ripped off, as does Gabesu. Now it's suddenly a 1-on-4 situation, and Katashio not in a great spot here with a Sheriff and a Dream. Jets pushing him as well. Minimal's doing a whoop-de-wop around the corner. ISO is gonna put him down. Say good night, and now 2 in a row now for Sick Esports.
Yeah, we kind of guaranteed that round to some extent. I want to say, I mean, it's never really guaranteed in all honesty, but you are very overwhelmingly favored when it comes to that second round if you get that first win. And we just saw the setup. So now we see a little bit of a bonus coming out for the side of old Sick Esports on defense, albeit. So I feel like it's a little bit more beneficial when you can hold these Spectres on these off angles. Go and get yourself at least a free pick or two, find these trades out here and there, and finagle what you can to get these rifles out of the hand of these players. But I mean, Sakura White already running the Odin, looking to have some wallbang action of their own, and once Chef sees all that, he's been doubled in fire rate. He doesn't want to go for it, but Wan does not literally have any cares in the world as he wants to get right up in the face with that Sheriff, find a pick and move off of it, giving Steam that much more hope.
He even got a Phantom off of that, so that's a huge first pick. He got he uses util perfectly, and he picked up a weapon off of that, so that's going to help their eco either way. But Sakura now down 3, and ISO picks up a 2-piece down mid and drops bomb. Sakura. I'm saying it right, production. I love you. Wan gonna get taken out. 2 versus 4. The wallbang's coming through, tagging up Katashio just a smidgen. Nothing too crazy though. Nightmare not in a great position here at all with an Odin and a Dream. With Shimu right in front of him, the smoke goes out. Shock darts coming out, trying to make some space. Takes out Shimu. Looks for the spray, tries to throw it. Minimal finds it. 2 versus 2 now.
What was that about being in a bad spot? Because Nightmare made the most of the situation he was in, and he's got the teammates there to back him up, whether or not he gets an off angle. I was expecting a push there to come through with the Sky, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It all just comes down right to ISO, this 1v1 scenario. Regardless, win or loss, Sick is making themselves a run so far. ISO being the last man standing. Wanted to look at that site, didn't know where the spike was to go ahead and hold it out, but he knows the rotation may be coming through. He's just trying to hold out that middle of the map, get the rotations to come out, go ahead and sniff out a site somewhere to get the early cutoff. And with only 10 seconds remaining, this is most definitely doable if he can catch Nightmare on the edge. Only grabbing 2 shots, really concerning there. Just enough time to get that plant down. And now we're looking for a retake. If ISO can pull it off, knowing exactly what angle to take, but how aggressively up for it. Not enough. He'll hold the angle, get the shots off, find a 4-piece for Sick to find their 3rd in a row.
Nightmare just got a little too excited, peeked the angle. And unfortunately, ISO, all he had to do was stand still and hit left click, and that was it. 3 in a row now for Sick Esports. Sakura, we've seen better starts from Sakura White, but again, it's still anyone's game. We're only in round 4 now, or heading into round 4, I should say. But if we look at ISO, man, he is 7-1 in the first half of the first half. This man is not only double, triple positive, he's 7-1 with 1 assist. And Nishimu's right behind him, getting the flash assists and all that, 4-1. And if you look at the other side, it's kind of 2 players doing most of the work over on Sakura, but we've definitely seen worse scenarios, right? We've seen worse starts from both these teams. So let's see if Sick is going to be able to pull that momentum together and keep on going, or if Sakura is going to finally put up a wall and say, no,
Yeah, and I think everything coming through so far, we've seen Sick just absolutely come out. Oh, I mean, no bars held back, absolutely swinging. As you can see, ISO grabbing himself another one, a little bit of a reset, back it off, saying, all right, I'm at 5 health. I can't really get over antsy too much, but you got to hope the rest of your team can find a pick in the middle, and that's not going to follow through as Katashio finds himself one towards the edge on that catwalk, going in, picking off a Phantom out of the hands of old Sick Esports, now making it a 4v3 with a little bit more mid presence. ISO trying to go for that little flyby. He's not going to find anything just yet. Just looking for a spike to go ahead and put onto his side.
ISO scaring me, man. He's got 5 HP. He's jumping up over walls like, dude, get down, get down. If you get tickled in the toe, you're dead. Katashio, beautiful headshot. Oh, beautiful shots on this chef, and that's going to make it a 3 versus 2 now. Still man advantage for Sakura. 40 seconds on the clock. They're going to have to get bombed down here at B site. It looks like that's the plan. 2-man retake here for Sick Esports, and we've seen better situations for them.
No, we most definitely have, but I mean, quite honestly, everything they have brought so far has made almost any scenario look doable. I mean, every time we've really slept on them, they've found a way to pull it out. I feel like this is the biggest disadvantage they're at so far. Look at how they're only at 1 health, but Wang can still find himself a kill. He does not care. And when you see out there on the edge, you got Katashio lit up a little bit, trying to look for trades where he can, trying to find the shots. It's a 1v1 once again, but Foon there on the outside, grabbing that judge, saying, all right, you started the round with it, but I'm getting in the round with it, as we see Sakura White grabbing their first.
Beautiful round there from Sakura White. Foon coming up with his first kill on the board. There we go. First kill might as well be your round winning kill. You know, 3-1, 2-round deficit here, but Sakura finally getting some ground under their feet. The eco could be better. Foon's got a good amount of money to work with here, as does GameSoup, but the rest of them are, you know, it could be better. But Sick is definitely, if Sick loses this next one, they're going to be hurting for econ. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think they've still done some admirable damage regardless of the shoes they really sit in. They've found so many picks every single round. They've gotten a lot of guns out of the hands of these players, and they're really just looking to go ahead and turn the tide and really get themselves an edge where they want to. And this is the first round where we've seen a relatively neutral buy across the field for both sides, getting themselves all the rifles, all the armor they need, all the utility they need to play it off. This is going to be our first testament to true skill of whether or not who can just get their rotations off better, who can find those right off angles to really be playing into. And I think it all may start right here towards this tree area as we see GameSoup trying to make a push, but not really get too antsy yet to peek it.
I think we might see an Astra versus Astra here, which would be very interesting. But I don't think any abilities are going to get used right here. Never mind, GameSoup immediately putting up stars. Smokes come out. Can give him what he needs to get through there, but he's getting tagged through the smoke. He spots Shimu. Shimu, beautiful turn, picks up 2. Foon picks up 1 for himself, but 1's going to be there for the trade. 2 versus 2 now. This is definitely interesting here. Sakura is going to be able to get bomb planted. This could be a 3-2 or a 4-1. This is very doable for either side, but it's a 1-on-2 right now for Nightmare, and he's on the defense.
Yeah, and he's going for a little bit of an aggressive angle here, which I absolutely love. When you're in this 1v2 scenario, you got to choose an angle and you got to push into it. But so far, he's already had it forced out of him.
Oh my God!
It doesn't matter. The double kill on top of the generator to end out the round. Sakura White finding their second, getting right back into this game and looking to tie it up here soon with 3 ultimates to play off coming up in this next.
Man, I'm going to get judged so hard for saying this, but I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could just jump up. I thought you had to be Jet or Raze or Omen or whoever to get up on there. I had no idea you could just... I'm bronze, bro. What do you think?
Okay.
Bro, I've been hard stuck bronze 3.
I'm not judging. I was just generally wondering. You know what? Maybe that's...
For the record, I got placed over 1. I got placed over 1 and then just lost.
Maybe that's the tip you needed, man. Use that on the set a couple times. Those bronze players ain't gonna see it coming.
Exactly. The maneuvers. The big brain, sushi brain plays. Beautiful shock darts coming out here from Nightmare, doing a little bit of damage. Nothing too crazy, though. Good amount of... Oh, Nightmare, beautiful 2-piece. Churro picks up 1, and now suddenly ISO in a 1-on-4 situation here with a Spectre and a damn Dream. Dogs jumping at him left and right. Recon's coming through. This is not a good position for ISO to be in.
It's really not, but I could see foreshadowing at least a little bit of the 2-piece, so long as he finds the right angle. But coming right out here from Market, he does not have the best lineup. He's going to go ahead and get pinged down by one of them rifles, which is going to be the Phantom this time around, to get Sakura White their 3rd here in a row to get themselves back into it. And Sick calling out themselves a timeout. I feel a little bit too jumpy on that? Because I mean, it's only the 6th or 7th round now. You found yourself a lot to be playing with, so it's really not a big a deal. I mean, they're just catching up. They're not really ahead by any means just yet.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing. It's a little early for a timeout, but I mean, by all means, you do you, girl. But it is a little bit it's a little weird to see it this early on, in around 6, 7, or heading into 7. It's very, I don't know, I've never seen that. But again, this is the time where Sick, they might have an actual technical issue, we don't know, but this is definitely the time where they need to come together as a team and figure out what they need to do to overcome Sakura here. Sakura, sorry, I'm trying to say it correctly, but while trying to do that, I'm just over pronouncing it and just ends up being wrong. So I'm sorry, all the anime guys are hating me right now, but it's all right. 3-3 is the score. Again, if you guys aren't just joining us, this is round of 32, map number 2 of the night. My name is Stunner Mickey. I'm joined by my man Mick, and we are currently on Ascent. Sick Esports is all tied up here with Sakura White.
Yeah, and I mean, we see them going ahead and buying out, trying to really finesse what they can, going for a force here as they're trying to go ahead and even it out. And I feel like it's something we don't really expect, that Sakura White definitely doesn't expect either. But when Sakura White has all 5 ultimates in their hands right now, that's a really concerning move to be making right now. You've got to find these shots before they can even get a chance to press that X button. But you already see the shutdown coming through for the Killjoy. That's going to go ahead and flush out that A side a little bit, create some breathing room there. But you see the rest of the team of Sick Esports looking for this flank play over towards the middle. So this may absolutely be massive as they have a huge pitch coming out.
I'm trying to think about where that recon dart was going at the beginning. That Nightmare threw off. I have no idea where that would have went, but trades are coming out now. Abilities being dumped everywhere. Cosmic Divide, Cypher Cages, Bird Flashes, everything's coming out. Shock Darts now, and health is not on the side of Sick Esports, but they're doing a pretty okay job of clearing the site of Sakura. But now it's 2 versus 3. The last remaining members of SW kind of trapped here. Beautiful avoiding there. Nightmare barely able to avoid that now. Recon of his own. Oh, shock dart of his own. Recon coming out here, but he gets swung. Minimal, beautiful pick from the headshot, and Chef gonna pick up a 3-piece and shut it down. Now 4-3 in favor of Sick Esports.
And great trades there to get themselves the edge to be working off of. We saw 2 of those ultimates invested in this round. We saw the Ash, the Cosmic Divide. We saw the shutdown come through, and they were invested pretty early. So I mean, that in itself already kind of gave a lot to be working off of. A little bit of an early cash in when you don't expect that pinch play to be coming out from Sick. And it really paid off for them. They found themselves towards the edge. You usually get yourself a post plant on the A side towards the arches, but when you already have enemy presence towards there, you don't want to be pushing that. You're held hostage on the site. You get all these angles coming down. You're hoping for some Soviet utility to come out, but as soon as you see the angle and where that dart's coming from, you see some trades come out from heaven. Just see Sick maneuvering themselves onto the site more so and more so and more so, really just itching themselves on there and making the most of it, getting another round. Great way for them to go ahead and get back into this, find another lead once again, but not too much way to be playing off of as they have a little bit more contention towards this A side.
I agree, and it's going to be looking semi-aggressive here from SW. The entry on the site, Shimu takes a dog and a dart to the face, and that's going to signal the entry here for SW. Beautiful shots. Churro's getting aggressive up in heaven, gets taken out. Chef as well picks up a 2-piece with the Hunter's Fury. Now it's all of a sudden 2 versus 5 for Sakura White here, not in a great position. Nightmare putting bomb down, Foon covering him. Not doing great, phenomenal job at it. Did that shock dart just destroy that nano swarm?
Pretty sure it did.
I think he just destroyed his teammates' nano swarm, but they're both doing a pretty good job of staying alive so far. Foon finally gonna fall. 1 versus 4 now, picks up 1. No, Nightmare gonna go down at the hands of Chef, and that's gonna be 5-3. Sick Esports doing a pretty good job of these retakes.
Yeah, especially on this A side. I mean, they are really making the most of every single angle. You see them going for heavy. You see them going towards door. Sometimes, even in that last round, you saw them go for the pinch play. There are so many angles that they really want to make the most of that you really don't typically see out of teams. You just see a massive retake towards door and towards heaven, and you just see it kind of being very plain. You really don't see too much diversity in it. You don't see much of a mix-up, which really allows it to be easily readable. But we see Sick just absolutely coming out here, just really playing into the intel as Sakura's getting a little bit over antsy, putting out the utility and really making their positions known, making it that much more easy to trade into. So as we saw Sakura trying to get themselves back into this game, we're going to see a Blade Storm come out this round because there's not too much money to be working with, but when you're Churro, you don't really need it.
Yeah, Sakura not doing their abilities need a little bit of work, like you were saying. They're more or less just letting the enemy